over to some archbishop. Been a school them from when me in a car shot. Liverpool couldn't test the way me raw sit up quick draw. Him drop and can't get up, him not fast enough for my problem that you never solve. Send for the Dan brace for a firestorm, cause I turn into a monster. Ready for the war, better with your black. None of them boy, they no bad. None of them boy, they no bad. Bad pants in power to some archbishop. Them no bad. School them from me in a darkish. Them no bad. School could test the with me raw sit up drop. If I can't get up, it's no fast enough for my Bible that you never saw. Send for the brand race for your firestorm, cause I turn into a monster. Ready for the war, better with your none of them boy, they no bad. Left a mark, young gog on a regular. We say them hardly ready. Them a new type of artillery. We a boss and a Tom and Jerry. Out the blue I hit you with an airstrike. They not bad like my air nice. It's a rare sight, yeah. Steady aim with precision. Make the vision with a clear sight. Better go get your affairs right. Them boy, they no bad. None of them boy, they no bad. Road back, live with my bar. If you mark, them no bad. On a regular, we see them hard, they no bad. It's me a new type of artillery. We a bust, and a Tom and Jerry. Out the blue, you with the airstrike. It's not bad, it's me every night. No bad, clear sight. Steady aim, no bad. And it's the vision, we got clear sight. Better to get your fit. Them boy, they no bad.
Welcome back to the Indy Boys Racing Podcast. Man, oh man, we are back again with another episode. What a weekend full of racing. We had 3 incredible series in the top series of motorsports around the world competing, with the Formula One season getting started, the IndyCar season getting started, and NASCAR continuing to kick off its West Coast swing. We're here in motorsports season, and I couldn't be more excited. For Burnout Sports and the Marion Siren, my name is Tristan Greider, repping a Simona Di Salvestro shirt today, because why the heck not? Joined with my co-hosts, who's out, one of them's out there in all Rossi gear. His name's Justin Cox. And then the other one is repping a Ryan Newman jacket. It's pretty sexy. That's Daniel Cheney.
You can't forget the certified Dalton Kellett moment hat.
Oh, and of course,
gotta rep our merch.
Yeah, the best merch in the world, the certified Dalton Kellett moment. Listen, Daniel, I was gonna join you with repping a jacket today, but I just decided I'm gonna put it on the back there. Casey Kane, you know, I gotta rep.
It's a backdrop.
It is a backdrop, and it's a pretty sexy backdrop. I'm not gonna lie. Like that sexy man. Anyway, so we're back with another episode. We have a lot to talk about. We're gonna talk all about motorsports stuff. We're gonna talk about Kyle Petty's opinions.
I knew you were gonna say something about that.
We're gonna talk all about Chase Elliott's injury, and we're gonna talk about one of the best certified Hood Classic IndyCar races in recent history.
That's what I'm saying,
like,
bro. This is so good.
good.
We'll get to it. We'll get to it. I will get to love that race.
We're
later.
getting to it.
Oh, yeah.
We have a lot to talk about, but firstly. We're coming to you a little bit later than we normally do. We're filming on a Wednesday this time, so we have more news to talk about, which is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, guys, so we're back, and this episode will go live on the Marion Siren tomorrow at noon. So if you are a fan of us, make sure you guys tune into the Marion Siren Thursday at 12 o'clock. Super awesome. Link will be down in the description. It's going to be super lit. Anyway, that's pretty much the intro.
Do we go and get into some motorsports media?
That sounds like a plan. I feel like we do that normally.
I feel like we should. I feel like
He said, I feel like we do that normally. Where are we going? Where are we going first?
Let's go NASCAR first.
NASCAR transition.
NASCAR.
Alrighty. So we have a lot of NASCAR news that has happened recently, guys. As of yesterday, we only had one thing.
And that's all. That's all I have for the graphics, guys. I'm sorry, I just went off of what you sent me. I didn't get all the other stuff updated.
But we do have some other stuff to talk about, which is awesome. So yesterday, so first thing we have to talk about: Chase Elliott is out with a broken leg. He actually fractured his tibia, and he is going to be out for at least the next 6 weeks. It's a snowboarding accident. We don't know if he is going to be granted a waiver yet. That's a debate, seeing as he did not acquire this injury racing. A lot of the times, racing injuries are granted waivers. For example, 2013 with Tony Stewart. Daniel was gonna say. Go ahead.
He's the sport's most popular driver. He's going to get a waiver.
I know. Here's the thing.
Saying that.
But we don't know whether or not he broke a contract-like thing or what's going on with that. But Chase Elliott will be out of the car for the next 6 weeks. On the ovals for the next 5 out of the 6 races, Josh Berry is going to continue to be in that car. And then
There's a snowboarding incident, right?
Yes, snowboarding.
Yeah, snowboarding.
Maybe that's just the Colts fan in me, but didn't that happen to Andrew Luck too? And
I think it did.
I'm like, the PTSD is hitting me.
But yeah, Josh Berry is going to be in that car for 5 of the next 6 weeks. So he'll continue to be in the Cup Series, driving that 9 car. I don't know how that'll work with Napa sponsorship. Napa will probably still be on the car. And then Jordan Taylor, IMSA driver, sports car driver, is going to be making his Cup Series debut. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I just want to say,
hyped for that.
Here's the thing. Jordan Taylor has been rumored to be making a one-off in the Cup Series for the last 5 or 6 years. And the fact that he's going to be in Hendrick equipment in his first ever start immediately puts him in top 10 contention, which is awesome. Yeah. And so I'm really looking forward to Jordan Taylor in the Cup Series. We'll talk a little bit more about the COTA news that we have coming up in a couple of minutes. But I want to get your guys' opinions on the Chase Elliott situation. Do you think there was a better driver that could have gotten put in that spot besides Josh Berry? Do you think Josh Berry is the right decision as Chevy's reserve driver? Because officially now, he's pretty much Chevy's reserve driver this season. It's no longer Noah Gragson, it's Josh Berry. So, what's your guys' opinions on that?
I thought you were going to ask us if we thought Chase Elliott doing it was a good or bad thing, but...
you can talk about Chase Elliott already getting surgery and
him going snowboarding and he does it a lot, quite frankly. I think Denny Hamlin said he thinks drivers should be able to live their lives and stuff like that, and that's kind of what my thought process is too. But to answer your question, I think Josh Berry is just a good fill-in. And maybe they want to get him Cup starts to develop him for Cup. Maybe that's the reason that they're having him fill in for Chase right now. Who knows? But, that's kind of my take on all that stuff. So, yeah. Daniel, what's up?
I'm happy that it's Josh Berry because I like Josh Berry. I think he's very talented. And he was getting too much crap for his performance this past weekend, which he should not be getting. This is his first time in the Gen 7 Cup car. I don't care what car you're in, you're not going to go out there and compete for a win in your first race ever in that car.
Yeah.
I don't care that it's the 9. I don't care that it's Hendrick. You just can't. That's pretty much unheard of.
I mean, it's possible, but...
Here's the thing. Josh Berry has made Cup starts in the past, but that was back in 2021. So he has never raced.
It was before Gen 7.
The Gen 7 car.
That's why I had to specifically
specify Gen 7 car. Yeah,
I specified Gen 7 because, as we've seen, it's a tricky car for even some veterans to get a hold of. So you just kind of have to not really look into that too much. There were a lot of rumors going around over who was going to take the 9 car. And I want to hear what you guys' opinion on one of the rumors that obviously didn't end up happening. But there was a rumor that they were trying, I don't know if it was trying to be worked out or if it was just people throwing this out as a conspiracy.
I heard
But
it was
there were
Corey
rumors
LaJoy.
that Corey LaJoy
That's what I heard.
was in the running to take the 9. And then I guess someone like Josh
What
Berry or
I
whoever
heard-
else would take the 7.
So I didn't know really what was going on with that. I heard it was going to be Corey LaJoy in Hendrick for the next couple of weeks, and with Jordan Taylor was going to race at Coda. So like that was always kind of like done. But what I had heard was that Corey LaJoy, it's all good, that Corey LaJoy was going to be racing a Hendrick equipment, and that Carson Hocevar was actually going to be racing for Spire, which ended up being later on news that he's going to be racing in the Xfinity Series for Spire. So I guess it was just a bunch of rumors all together, but I would have loved to see Corey LaJoy in that seat personally.
You know what, in my opinion, is a missed opportunity? You know what race is coming up soon that Corey LaJoy could have been filling in for Chase Elliott's car? Atlanta Motor Speedway. A super speedway. Yes, it's a super speedway now. Get over it. At a super speedway race, that man has, it doesn't matter what super speedway it is, he can make the worst car look like it's in contention.
Multiple top fives
Imagine him in a Hendrick car.
Yeah.
I've said it for years that Corey LaJoy just needed good equipment, and he's putting that Spire Motorsports car in the top 15 right now, which is awesome.
Do you guys remember when Denny and Corey LaJoy had beef?
I do remember that in like 2020. I don't think Daniel was around for NASCAR for back then.
Nah, that would have been
was so
before when I
funny.
started paying
That was so
attention.
funny.
That was hilarious. So Daniel, what that was is like Corey LaJoy, like
He was
I don't
like,
even really remember.
He was like trash talking like all the bigger teams because he hasn't gotten like his big
a
opportunity
contract,
yet.
and
So,
he was like, "I'm
and
doing
then-
this in Go Fast equipment."
Yeah.
And then like Denny Hamlin was like 30th, and I think Daniel he just commented like 30th in points or something like that.
Yeah.
And then they had like serious beef for like a while. Then they went on each other's podcasts.
It was just kind of like
Now they're
Twitter
buddies.
fingers. It was just kind of Twitter fingers for a while. So
It was
It
Eric
was-
Jones in the bathtub.
It was typical Denny Hamlin Twitter moment.
Also, speaking of Twitter, like why does Eric Jones always like tweet at like 3 a.m. from like the bathtub? Like he's always just like.
I swear that man is
I
just
swear
letting
he
his
has a
intrusive
gla-
thoughts win.
I swear he's in a bubble bath with a glass of wine, just like.
sending tweets out.
You ever
Legacy Motor Club.
Do you ever watch that episode of South Park where like Kyle's dad is like a troll and he's sitting there with his glass of wine?
yeah.
He's typing.
I remember that. Yeah.
That's my that's what I envision Eric Jones is on Twitter. Anyway, but Chase Elliott out for the next couple of weeks. I mentioned Carson Hocevar. Hocevar is actually going to be making his Xfinity Series debut with Spire Motorsports. So that's where the Spire Motorsports deal came from. Spire is going to do a 6-race deal with the number 77 car in the Xfinity Series, making their debut in the Xfinity Series. They had talked about making an Xfinity Series start over the offseason. Hocevar is that driver. So good luck, Carson Hocevar. Hopefully you get some good starts there. We'll see if he gets his first win in the Xfinity Series before he does in the Cups, before he does in trucks.
Listen, we're not going to talk about it.
All right,
I'm really
Yeah, go ahead.
surprised with how fast Spire is expanding as a newer team. You know,
Yeah.
like that is crazy.
But they're doing
like,
the thing is though they're doing it right,
yeah,
which I like.
they're doing
because-
it backwards.
Yeah, they are doing it backwards.
yeah, I don't know,
But
They made their
I just
program
find
like
that
a
interesting.
sandwich. Start at
Yeah.
the top, then you go to the bottom, then you fill in the middle.
what do you do?
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see how it goes.
speaking-
for them, though.
Yep. Speaking of the Xfinity Series, Hendrick Motorsports has announced their Xfinity Series races for the season. Number 17 will return. It's going to be a 4-race schedule with William Byron, Kyle Larson, and Alex Bowman making starts. Chase Elliott will not make any of those starts as of right now. All right, let's talk Coda. So we already talked about Jordan Taylor, IMSA legend, going to the races in Coda. A couple other racing legends that are going to be going into Coda. The first of which is Kimi Räikkönen is going to make his second career Cup Series start. F1 champion, F1 legend, made his Cup Series debut last year at Watkins Glen for Project 91. He is back, and he did it by leaking it himself. He is going to race again. Exciting for Kimi Räikkönen. Love that man. Iceman returns. Next racing legend that's going to be there, Jimmy Johnson, has confirmed that he is going to be racing at COTA in his number 84 Legacy Motor Club Chevrolet. So exciting for Jimmy Johnson. And I guess you could say Indiana Indy boy, Connor Daly is going to make his next start in the NASCAR Cup Series in the number 50 for the Money Team Racing for that Bitnow car. That's really exciting. 4 drivers that are not normally open wheel that are not normally in the Cup Series and I love that.
But if you think about it too, though, this is kind of like what NASCAR needs right now, because you have an IMSA guy, you have an F1 guy, and an IndyCar guy all come into NASCAR,
and a NASCAR legend
returning. Yes, yeah. Like that's honestly pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like I like that whole like. I don't know. We need more of
Can't
this.
wait.
I like it.
Can't wait.
We need
I
more
can't
of
wait
this.
for
I like
F1 kids on TikTok to be like, "Wow, NASCAR turns left." You know what I mean?
You mean NASCAR turns right?
To be honest, yeah, NASCAR turns right. Yeah. To be honest with you though, I enjoy the Cup cars on COTA more than I enjoy the F1 cars on COTA. And I know that track was built for F1, but I enjoy the Cup Series cars on COTA a lot.
I personally thought last season's F1 race at COTA was pretty phenomenal. I'm not like it was my favorite F1 race behind Silverstone. I won't lie to you. But
I thought COTA was good last season, but there's something about those Cup cars.
Before that, it was kind of hit or miss for F1.
Yeah, for real. For real. But hopefully F1 gets better. But we'll talk all about that when we get to the F1 segment.
Yep.
But guys, this is really cool, and we don't know who Rick Ware is going to tap to drive that number 15. It's actually
stinger. Put in the stinger.
Is it Todd Gilliland? It might be Todd Gilliland. I don't know. I'd have to look.
I don't know. Is that one of the races that Zane Smith is doing?
I don't know for sure. I'd have to look. But speaking of Todd Gilliland, he is going to be in the 15 this upcoming weekend at Phoenix. So
Todd Squad, stand up. Todd Squad, stand up.
So Todd Gilliland will be making his debut for Rick Ware Racing. He is going to be full-time this season as they found a spot for him at Front Row Motorsports. He's literally going to be in the 36 at Talladega, which is stupid. Just keep pulling a Connor Daly. Like
he's literally pulling a Connor Daly.
He's pulling a Connor Daly, except that's Talladega, and Connor Daly's was the 500.
Yeah.
So,
well, no, like because think about it. Connor Daly would run. He ran. I'm thinking like 2021. He ran the 47 just at the 500, but then the rest of like all the road course, street courses, he ran the 20. But then on the other ovals outside of the Indy 500, he had to run in the 59 on a different team. Mm-hmm. This is pretty close to like a Connor Daly.
I forgot about Carlin.
Yeah,
he had to run because him and Max Chilton were splitting that seat. I forgot about that.
That's what made me say this was a Connor Daly moment. 2 different teams, 3 different numbers.
He's killing it. He's killing the game. But anyway, guys, that's all the NASCAR news that we have. Chase Elliott, hope that you recover shortly. And
we're not going to talk about Kyle Petty and Ryan Blaney.
Oh, I thought we were talking about that later. We can talk about that now.
Let's do it now.
I thought we were talking about that later. Okay. So, here we go.
He's warming up. He's warming up.
Here we go.
All right. So, Kyle Petty was on NASCAR Sirius XM and was talking about Ryan Blaney. And he called Ryan Blaney wasted potential and that he's currently wasting his potential. Ryan Blaney, as of today, is 29 years old and is in his he made his rookie year in 2017. This is his 6th full-time season in the NASCAR Cup Series. That's insane. 6th or 7th. Am I wrong? 6th or 7th. My bad. 7th full-time Cup Series season. This is his 6th season with Penske. He does not have that many wins. He has, I believe, 6 wins now.
And 3 of them
his
came
career.
in 2021.
Yeah, and 3 of them came in 2021. He had 3 wins, 2017, 2018, 2019. 7 wins, because he got one in 2020. 2 wins in 2020.
Yeah.
So 7 or 8 wins in his career already. Kyle Petty called Ryan Blaney the biggest waste of potential in NASCAR since Casey Kane. Listen, Casey Kane was my personal favorite driver. You can call Casey Kane a wasted potential or whatever you want. Ryan Blaney right now does not hold a candle to what Casey Kane did in his career. I'm just saying. 7 wins compared to Kane's 18 wins in his whole career. That's fine. Kane had a 13-year NASCAR Cup Series career, and Blaney already has 7. Just saying. And Casey Kane also had a 6-win season in 2006.
The Casey Kane truther is coming out right now.
Like, listen, he was my favorite driver. But I
the
want you guys to
Dodge
know.
dealer's dilemma, Bob. You know what I'm saying?
Here's the thing. Here's the thing that I have to say about Kyle Petty. Listen, Kyle Petty, NASCAR driver, son of one of the greatest of all time, has nothing to say to Ryan Blaney or Casey Kane about wasted potential. I'm sorry.
I love it.
Like,
Can I quote Dale Jr. to be quick?
yeah.
What the F does Kyle Petty have to do with this? What the, where did this come from?
Yeah.
What, this
I
came out of
mean,
nowhere.
though, like, is he wrong about Ryan Blaney? I don't think the comparison to Casey Kane was the right one. But is he wrong about Ryan Blaney, though? Do you guys think he's wrong about
I think the comparison is fine. I believe Eric Estep did a video where he kind of broke down the first 7 or 8 years of both of their careers. Casey Kane had, I think, 11 wins in his first 7 or 8 years. I think that's including the 6-win season. So he had more wins in that time period. I think average finish,
His average
Blaney
finish was better. Brian Blaney
And
was
then,
better because Casey Kane had that really bad 2005 season.
And then I
which,
think
tanked his
highest
stock.
point finish was like pretty neck and neck.
Yeah. In
So-
Casey Kane's career, his highest points finish that he had was 4th, which was in 2012, which would have been his 8th season. So that would be this season for Blaney. So and that was in Kane's first season for Hendrick Motorsports.
Right.
And you also have to think about that Kane also was winning with different teams. Kane won with Ray Evernham, he won with Richard Petty, he won with Red Bull, and he won with Hendrick, all in his
Did he
career.
win with Red Bull?
Yeah, he won at Phoenix in 2011 with Red Bull
Really?
Racing. Second to last race of the
Interesting.
season.
Oh,
Yep.
wow. Huh. I'd never thought Red Bull won a race in NASCAR. Interesting.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Red Bull won a couple races. They won with Brian Vickers a couple times too.
I think he won one at New Hampshire in Red Bull.
Yeah, I think so.
I remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't remember.
Okay,
It's
never mind.
so far back in the day. But and you also have to think about he was running also for Levine Family Racing and keeping that car like semi like in the playoff contention in his final season. Kane drove for more teams, got in the victory lane more times in a shorter amount of time than Blaney has. And the thing is, though, I don't have a problem with him comparing him to Casey Kane. I have a problem with him comparing with Kyle Petty opening his mouth.
Yeah.
Because Kyle Petty has nothing to talk about wasted potential. Kyle Petty is the son of one of the greatest drivers in history. A driver that won 200 times. And how many races did Kyle Petty win in his however long career? I think there was a time where Kyle Petty went 15 years without a top 5. Like, come on. There's nothing to talk about.
He
Like,
said, come on.
There's no way that Kyle Petty can talk about wasted potential here. And Jay, I'd love to hear your opinion on this.
I mean, like I said, like, my only opinion on it is, like, to me, I don't feel like Kyle Petty is wrong in saying what he said about Blaney or...
Oh, I don't think he's wrong about Blaney. I just think he was the wrong person to say it.
Yeah,
That's what I'm thinking.
That's kind of where I draw my conclusion to is like, what does Kyle Petty got to do with this? You know what I'm saying? Like, Jesus Christ! Like,
Also, Mr. Kyle Petty, you went winless for your first 7 races of your career, like first 7 years of your career, like, and then like you had a total of 5 wins.
bro pulled up Racing Reference.
Bro cited his sources.
Kyle Petty went winless
MLA
from
edition.
1996. He got his final win at Dover in 1995 and never won another race and raced weekly until 2007 and then went part-time in 2008.
Yeah, I think Kyle Petty's probably the wrong person to be talking about this. Like,
Yes.
I get you're an analyst, but you also got to look at yourself and be like, am I the right person to actually say this, though? Like,
Yeah.
like,
If
He was
Tony
the wrong
Stewart
guy.
said it,
yeah,
I
if Tony
would trust
Stewart
it.
or like Jeff Gordon or someone
Yeah.
were to say something like this, which I know Jeff Gordon.
Or even Roger Penske just saying like, "Hey, we feel like Blaney's wasting his potential."
yeah,
Like, you can open your mouth. Kyle Petty's not the right guy to talk
yeah.
about.
I don't think Kyle Petty's the right person to say something. So I don't know. Daniel, what's
That's
your thoughts?
just me. That's just me personally.
I have the exact same thoughts. What was bro cooking? Like,
bro, who let bro cook? Who gave him the pots and pans?
bro thought he could cook. He could not cook. The take itself is fine. The person who said it in like the manner that he said it in, that's what I have a problem with. If he's just saying it at like a strictly like analytical point, like he's not wrong, but the way that he used it as like a way to knock Ryan Blaney, I don't necessarily like. I don't know if I like that, but who am I to say? I guess
there's a different way to say you're wasting your potential and wasting your potential. You can say it as, "Oh,
Yeah.
I think he has wasted potential," but if you're saying, "I think he's wasting his potential," it sounds like you're wanting him to do better. When you say he's
Yeah.
wasted
But
potential,
he was like almost like it sounded like he was calling him a bust,
yeah, pretty much.
which
Yeah.
is so far from
And the only person who's allowed to call driver busts is Darian Gilliam.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
come on. Like, no, but it's just
maybe
fun.
not Oliver Askew, but
Not Oliver.
that's a
Askew.
story for another
I
time.
saw that. I was like, I don't know about Oliver
I was
Askew.
like, listen, he had one season with McLaren and he got a concussion.
Yeah.
So like, I wouldn't necessarily
It was
say
not his
wasted
fault.
potential.
Yeah.
I'm literally Oliver Askew. Leave my boy out of this.
I'm literally Oliver Askew.
But yeah, that's pretty much all I got to say about that. Weekend winners this weekend for NASCAR. Truck Series winner was KFB. He had some words about the Truck Series race. We'll talk about that in a second. Xfinity Series winner Austin Hill, already getting his second win of the season. And then Cup Series, William Byron destroyed this race. Like, he obliterated all of the competition, sweeping all the stages and getting the win. I want to talk about the Truck Series race really quick. Kyle Busch, there was 10 cautions in the Truck Series race, excluding stage cautions. After one of the cautions, Busch apparently went on the radio and said these Thor Sport drivers need to learn how to drive. If they're in good equipment, that if they're in this good of equipment, why are they not driving like this? It was aimed at Haley Deegan. Deegan's second career start with Thor Sport, and she's wrecked in both of her races. And in the crash, it was her fault. Busch had some words to say about the Truck Series. This could lead to him not racing as many races in the Truck Series, which is crazy to me. But yeah, that's pretty much that. He didn't have his third weekend sweep like we were predicting, but still got a win in Las Vegas. That's pretty sweet. Austin Hill, this guy's turning into my championship favorite this season for the Xfinity
I
Series.
tried telling you.
Right.
telling you.
But let's do that when we get to the race review, my guy.
Oh, are we not on the race? Oh, my bad. My bad.
Because
My
we're
bad,
still in
Jay.
motorsport media.
My bad. My bad.
You're good.
Go ahead and transition.
All right, we're going to the formulas because I don't think we have IndyCar news, right, Daniel?
Not really, no.
Okay, sounds good. Go to the Formula Ones. Or Formula E first, actually. Dieter Gas is joining Formula E in a new role of senior technical and sporting advisor. He'll be reporting to Alberto Longo. He was previously with Audi Motorsport, so I don't think Audi like that was like Audi Motorsport like in like Formula E or something. I think he was like just working for like people that do stuff with Audi Motorsport. Formula E and Southwire, one of North America's leading wire and cable producers, they actually announced a collaboration for season 9 of the Formula E season. So I don't really know much about this. I don't know much about Southwire. I'm not gonna lie to you. I never heard of them until this news announced. But I guess congrats. So I don't really know. Formula 3, Gabriel Bortoleto, he wins in Bahrain in his debut weekend. F2, Frederick Vesti has received a 5-place grid drop penalty causing a collision with Indy boy Richard Verschoor in the Secure feature race. I woke up at 5:20 and I watched the end of the F3 race, and then I watched the F2 race, fell back asleep, watched the F1 race, and then I was up the rest of the night.
My favorite tweet of all time: Richard Verschoor was robbed.
Yeah. Yeah. He was robbed. He very much was robbed though. But yeah. No, then Theo Poucher, he ended up winning the feature race, the first feature race of the season, and he won it by 19 seconds to kick off the 2023 campaign in style. So what a win by Theo Poucher.
Mm-hmm.
And then F1, the only thing I had for F1 really this week was that Fernando Alonso revealed that he broke a few bones in his hand during his Australia qualifying 3 crash last year. So, and like he didn't get treatment or anything for this, I don't believe. So like that's kind of crazy. Like, dude crashed.
There's something about Aston Martin and drivers in their hands being bad this weekend.
Yeah, I agree. But
Dad, I fell off my bike.
yeah. I fell off my bike. Yeah. But no, that's all I have for the formulas. That's all I have for the formulas. So Tristan, we can go back to NASCAR and you can.
Well, yeah, let's talk race reviews. My bad.
Yeah.
My bad. I jumped the gun.
You're
My
good.
fault.
You're good. You're good. You're good.
So we already kind of talked Truck Series. Let's talk Xfinity Series really quick. Like Austin Hill, man, this guy's turning into a championship. Like, he's turning into a championship favorite. This guy's getting exciting. It's exciting stuff right now with him.
Yeah, dang right it is. Yeah, dang right it is.
Jay, talk to me real quick. Favorite?
Like, what do you mean? by
Favorite for the championship at this point right now? 3 races in.
Honestly, like, I guess it's looking like Austin Hill. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, I can't disagree with either of you because he's looked good in every single race so far. Like, it hasn't been anything bad that's happened to him. He's been consistent, and like, you can't even, like, I don't know, like, if he can keep this consistency up, stay clean, and just finish out the season, he's probably gonna be a pretty big championship threat when it comes around time. So
yes.
I'm gonna agree with you guys. I'm gonna go Austin Hill. I was gonna try and be different, but then I was like, you know what? I'm gonna fall in line on this one.
As of right now, nobody comes close to like his consistency and his dominance. So it's gonna be fun to see if he can continue his hot streak up this weekend at Phoenix. But good for you, Austin Hill.
Let him cook. Let him cook.
Like, as of right now, he's currently the points leader by 13 points. John Hunter Nemechek could be in contention for that. He's been doing pretty well.
See, that's who I was gonna say, but then I was like, I don't know though.
Yeah, I mean, the only other people that, like, at least this far in, look like they could be potentially challengers, which, again, 3 races in, this could mean nothing. I would say John Hunter Nemechek, probably just an Allgaier.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to read the top 10 in
really
points right now. Top 10 in drivers' points. Austin Hill, Justin Allgaier, John Hunter Nemechek, Chandler Smith, Riley Herbst are your top 5 in points right now. Not really surprising. Sam Mayer, Cole Custer, Josh Berry, Joe Graff Jr., and Parker Kligerman are your top 10 in points. So Graff Jr. and Kligerman.
Get it, Joe. Get it, Joe. Get it, Joe Graff.
Good job, Joe. Good equipment. We see what that brings you.
Yeah.
I will say though, he kind of had a little bit of a rough race at Auto Club, so it's good to see that he had a bounce back week this last weekend.
Yeah.
I'm happy for the guy. But yeah, that's pretty much what we got to talk about with the Xfinity Series. Cup Series action. William Byron, the guy who I said is not going to make the playoffs, and is the guy that Jay said is the champion.
I know this entire race, Jay was just going like this the whole time.
The guy had a great one. He had an all-time showing and had the first 1-2-3 finish since Dover of 2021, which is when Hendrick finished 1-2-3-4.
Yeah.
And Hendrick Motorsports gets another 1-2-3. I'm going to read the top 10 for this race because there were some pretty good drivers that got some good like top 10s this week. 1, 2, 3 for Hendrick Motorsports, Byron, Larson, and Bowman. 4th place was Bubba Wallace, his best finish of the season so far. 5th place, Christopher Bell, another good finish for Bell, his second top 5 of the year. Austin Cindric, 6th, his best finish of the year so far. 7th, Truex. 8th, Justin Haley, gets a nice top 10. 9th, Harvick. 10th, Suarez. The only drivers to get top 10s in the first 3 races of the season, Alex Bowman and Daniel Suarez. And that shows in the point standings, because right now your points leader after 3 weeks of action, same guy, Ross Chastain, followed by my championship prediction, Alex Bowman, who is 3 points back from him. 3rd place right now in points is Harvick. 4th place, Suarez. 5th, Truex. 6th is Hamlin. 7th is Bell. 8th, Kyle Busch. 9th, Joey Logano. And 10th place, Chris Buescher. And then locked in the playoffs right now, of course. As of right now, Kyle Busch, William Byron, and Ricky Stenhouse Jr. So, as of right now, those guys are locked in. As me and a lot of other people are predicting, it will probably change. For our main buddy, Ricky Stenhouse Jr. As of points right now, there are 36 drivers eligible for the championship, and right now Josh Berry is one of them, which is hilarious. Seeing as Chase Elliott has not been granted a waiver as of right now for missing his race. Last in drivers' points right now is Ty Dillon with 10 points. So, guys, after 3 weeks, who are you impressed with? Who are you disappointed with? And who do you think could sneak into the playoffs?
Let Daniel go first.
Daniel, you go ahead. Who are you impressed with?
I mean, right off the bat, Ross Chastain. I know we treated him like a megastar just because of the Hail Melon, which, like, rightfully so. That was insane. And he had a great season last season, making it into the championship 4. But I don't think people like realize how consistent he is. He doesn't have to go out there and win every week. He only won 2 times last season, but he made it to the championship 4 and finished 2nd in the championship. Could have won had the strategy played out a little bit differently. And he's your points leader right now, and I think he's pretty much he's in contention to win almost every race. Almost every race. He doesn't have a lot of weak spots, at least right now. His only weak spot is making friends on the track. But that's a different story. And as of now, it hasn't affected him too much. Could it later? Potentially. But I think Ross Chastain has really impressed me. And then one other guy that's honestly impressed me, actually, I'll just say both members of the team. RFK Racing, Chris Buescher and Brad Keselowski, both 10th and 11th. I know I predicted Buescher to make the playoffs this year. I think Keselowski could have, if things go the certain way. I did not expect them to be 10th and 11th 3 races in.
Jay, who are you impressed with to start the season?
All right, so for me, it's gotta be it's 3 people that I'm kind of looking at, and you mentioned his teammate Daniel, but I'm going with Daniel Suarez first off, because Suarez, like he's a top 10 solid driver on like even on a bad day, I think he could still easily get a top 10. Alex Bowman has kind of impressed me with his consistency this season, because I don't think last season
we're heading to Bowman country right now in Phoenix Raceway.
Yeah, because I don't think Bowman was as consistent as he was like at this point this season as he was last season. I'm not gonna lie to you. I feel like there was a few things hit or miss with Bowman, but I mean that was also the first year of the Gen 7 too, so there's that.
Yeah.
And then I'm gonna go with Kevin Harvick. I'll be like,
because you had Harvick and Suarez both missing the playoffs this season.
No,
right?
I have Suarez in. I
had Suarez missing.
That's right. Okay.
I have Suarez in and Harvick missing. And Harvick, like he's been consistent. You know what I'm saying? He's not done anything crazy. I don't think he's really had a top 5 yet. He's had 2 top 10s.
Yeah,
I believe.
he had a top 5 last weekend. He got 3rd.
This weekend, like this
at
past week?
Vegas. Yeah, he got a 3rd.
I didn't even notice that. Okay.
Or no, he got 4th. My bad. Hendrick 1, 2, 3. Harvick was fifth. No, never mind. He didn't get a top 5.
Yeah, he
I'm an
was
idiot.
ninth. Yeah, he
I'm
was
an idiot.
ninth.
Yeah,
I was
I don't know
about to
what
say-
I don't know
I was about
what
to say,
I'm talking
I
about
just-
because Bubba got 4th. I don't.
Yeah, I was about. He finished 9th, and then at
Yeah.
Auto Club, he ended up finishing in 5th. So I mean, yeah,
Yeah.
he does have a top 5.
Mm.
But so like he's been up front, and I didn't think he was really gonna be up front. And looking at the rest of SHR, I don't know if he's really supposed to be up front. So it might
Yeah.
just be him making the difference there. I'm just saying.
SHR has definitely been a disappointment.
Yeah, but those 3, Suarez, Bowman, and Harvick are my 3 that have kind of impressed me this season. So
I'd have to agree with the drivers that you guys mentioned. Alex Bowman, obviously, super impressed. Daniel Suarez was my other one. For drivers that have not impressed you, I'm sorry, Daniel, but Tyler Reddick has had a bad 3 weeks. Not just listen, 2 DNFs in a row. Sometimes you can't control those, but you come off of 2 DNFs where your teammate runs a top 5 solid race and you get 15th in the same equipment. Top 15 is fine.
He was
But he's-
running better, but there was the overtime. I'm not excusing it. I'm just saying he looked better than 15th.
Right now,
as a whole.
out of all drivers that are currently chartered, he is 32nd in points. He leads only BJ McLeod and Ty Dillon as full-time drivers. That's rough. He's still behind Briscoe, Priest, Gregson, who are all having rough years, and Cody Ware. Cody Ware is ahead of 2 SHR cars and a 2311 racing car in points. And technically a Hendrick Motorsports car with Josh Berry. Just saying. But Reddick has not impressed me at all, which sucks because I have him in the playoffs, and I'm really hoping Reddick can find a way to turn it around. But right now it's looking like Reddick made the poor decision to go to 2311 racing. Another driver that has disappointed me have been everybody at SHR except for Kevin Harvick. Priest, Almirola, and Briscoe have been... Almirola's been okay. Priest and Briscoe have been terrible. Not just bad, terrible. And
but maybe it's not them. Maybe it's the team.
Yeah.
Are they trying to do some weird stuff at the team or something? What's
I
going
have
on?
no idea.
I don't.
But you have Chase. In my opinion, at SHR right now, Chase Briscoe is your franchise driver,
Has to
and
be.
Should be.
with him being 31st in points right now after 3 weeks. Like we talked about last week, how 2311 Racing needs to figure it out. SHR needs to figure it out.
You should be
right now.
You should be throwing Briscoe your all.
You should
what
be
I'm
giving
saying.
Briscoe everything. I get that Harvick's in his retirement season, and I know that Harvick is probably out driving that equipment, but you need to figure it out now.
Yep.
And you need to give Priest, you have to get Priest to figure it out, because right now it's looking like Priest is doing the exact same thing that Custer was doing in that equipment. And do we blame Custer or do we blame the equipment? Do we blame Priest or do we blame the equipment at this point? Because
It's kind of looking
right
like
now-
the equipment.
yeah, I don't know if
'Cause,
you
I
guys
mean-
are gonna have.
I
Yeah,
mean,
go ahead.
my opinion on Custer, looking at him in the Xfinity series compared to when he's in the Cup series, and now seeing Ryan Preece, who I thought was going to be way more impressive than he has been.
Because you have Priest in the playoffs, don't you, Jay?
Yeah, I have Preece
Yeah.
making the playoffs, and that could just be on points or a win, either or.
Yeah.
If we get points at least, but
Or even if we get more than 16 winners, yeah.
yeah. So Priest, I'm starting to think maybe it's the equipment that SHR is giving these guys, because especially for Chase Briscoe to just have such a fall off, he won at Phoenix, which I mean maybe that's just a track that suits his driving style. He may be still getting acclimated to the Gen 7. Same with Ryan Preece in his first season at least. But I don't know, I looking at it now, maybe it's just the equipment,
You never know.
I don't know, it's tough to tell because you don't know, but at the same time, it looks like the main culprit right now is the equipment. It may not have been the driver. That's all I'm saying.
And it's not like, and I bet you guys are gonna agree with me that Storehouse Racing and Tyler Reddick have been disappointing. So I'm not really gonna go on to anything else. But Like,
Well, I mean, there's one other driver I'll throw out for disappointing, but
Go
I'll
ahead.
let you go first.
Go ahead,
No,
go ahead.
I'll let you finish your.
they just got to figure it out, and they got to get better. Atlanta's coming up, and that's a free-for-all track. Obviously, Briscoe is going back to Phoenix this weekend, a track where he always runs well. You guys got to figure it out. So, Daniel, I'm sorry, who's the driver that you're kind of pointing towards?
My driver that I'm disappointed in right now, I'm disappointed in Eric Jones.
Yeah.
Do I think he should be top 5, top 10 in points? No. But he should be like in that like
Can I
18 to 22.
can I say something though, real quick? Like,
Yeah, go
because
for
like
it, go for it.
last season, like at the start of the season, like I think a lot of us were surprised by Petty GMS like stepping up the way they did. But I think a lot of that has to do with teams still trying to figure out the Gen 7 car at the same time, because he was running really well at the beginning of the season, and towards the middle of the season, they kind of started just being more mid-pack or whatever.
besides the win at Darlington.
Yeah. Besides that, but like they were more mid-pack and everything like that. But I think a lot of people might have had Jones on their radar because of the way last season started off, and they kind of didn't let that momentum die for him.
Yeah.
I mean, he won Darlington. Don't get me wrong, but I think Jones. That like it's not expected me that he's running in the back like that. I'm not gonna lie to you. To me,
I mean, we saw him run in the back for the entirety of 2021. So, I mean,
Yeah.
it doesn't surprise me at this point. But being behind Todd Gilliland and Harrison Burton in points right now, he's got to step it up. Rookie of the Year race right now, Ty Gibbs is 20th in points. Noah Gregson's 29th. So, Ty Gibbs running away with the Rookie of the Year as everyone predicted.
Yeah.
So, that's NASCAR race stuff. We're going to Phoenix next week. We'll talk about all that stuff with predictions. But Jay, let's talk all about Bahrain. Jay, are we doing Bahrain first, or are we doing IndyCar
Let's
first?
do IndyCar first. Let's do IndyCar
All right,
first.
going to St. Pete.
Let's give Daniel
So
a little
St.
time
Pete,
to shine.
baby. St. Pete. So freaking good.
Dude,
So
great
freaking
race.
good.
Great race.
Phenomenal race. Dare I say, modern classic. I know people on Twitter might not agree with me on that, because people on Twitter were like, "Oh, this race was so bad. There was
This race
crashes."
was the Daytona of IndyCar. There were so many wrecked cars at the end of this thing.
Yeah.
How many cars were there
About
that didn't have damage?
A little under half the field.
14, I
under
believe,
half the
had
field.
no damage. Because Stingray, I think, finished 16th and was running 13th before he spun off the track to the
I
leaders.
think there were
and they
only
wouldn't let him back
there were
on the
12
track.
drivers on the lead lap.
That's crazy.
So 12 drivers that weren't involved in anything that like cost them, at least. Which there was a lot going on. There was a lot going on. But I still think it was a really, really good race, and I think it's going to take a lot to keep topping races like this. And that's why I love IndyCar, because IndyCar made Texas look like a good track. Texas.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, and everyone
IndyCar is just so
everyone
good.
on Twitter was like dogging, like they're like, man, we can't believe we have to freaking go to Texas next week. I'm like, Texas is good with their IndyCar.
it was
so, like, calm yourself.
last year it was. It's
Last
hit or
year.
miss.
It's gonna be hard to beat this race
Yeah.
because this race had everything. This race had everyone from Scott McLaughlin to leading laps, Grosjean, Malukas, Dixon, Pato, Erickson. There were so many leaders in this thing.
Then you had the
And-
leaders taking each other out.
Yeah,
Like-
there
You
was,
had
there were so many different factors.
You had one of the greatest battles for the lead I've ever seen, and it ended how I thought it was going to.
yeah. I knew it was gonna happen. As soon as I
Like,
seen them come out, I was like,
I was
Grosjean's
like,
not
they're
there
going
now. McLaughlin's
straight
going.
Yeah.
into these.
Yeah.
Like, it was a racing incident, but man, what a race! Like, the green tires. Good job.
He's a good job.
Yay, IndyCar, you did more good. Yay. You did so good, sweetie. We
But
love
also
you.
something I feel like we have to talk about though, the greatness that was IndyCar's proving the aero screen, because
Yes. IndyCar safety.
because Ben Peterson and Jack Carvey would not be alive without the aero screen.
Mhm.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I agree. IndyCar safety, whether you're talking about the car safety, the safety team, top notch. I would argue top of pretty much all of motorsports. Them in F1, They've got it down pat.
Peak.
They've got it.
Peak.
Yay, IndyCar! You get another golden star. Oh, you're such a good little golden child. We love you. But before we get into breaking down this race, I just want to go over the race winners for the whole weekend with IndyCar and all their feeder series. So starting off with USF 2000, they had 2 races, and in those 2 races, Lockie Hughes and Nikita Johnson won those. So congrats to you guys. In the USF Pro 2000 class, Christian Brooks and Miles Rowe came away with wins in the 2 races. Shout out to them. In Indy Next, we got Daniel Frost coming away with his first win in Indy Next. Congrats to him. We love Daniel Frost.
First win of the season, second win of his career because he won last season.
Yeah,
we were there.
Maybe I missed. I saw a post that said first somewhere, and it just ingrained in my brain.
Hey Daniel, we were there.
I know. A lot happened last year. Okay, and then in this IndyCar race, Marcus Ericsson won, which we'll begin to talk about. So starting off with this IndyCar conversation, Romain Grosjean won the pole. It is his second pole in IndyCar and his first since his rookie year at the IMS road course. So congrats to him. I don't know if it was just like him looking good, but Andretti, this is going to be a hot take. Is Andretti back?
Yeah.
Is Andretti back?
Yeah.
Andretti's back. All 4 drivers looked good. Well,
3.
One of them didn't get to look good. But because one of them looked really good flying through the air.
Yeah.
But
he reached the highest highs out of all of them.
To be honest with you,
physical.
Two of them flew in there actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, but one of them
at least Kirkwood got a chance to show that he had speed.
Yes.
Deb didn't get to show his speed. So sorry, Dev. But yeah, Grosjean had a great race. Like if I'm Andretti, sure, you come home with 4 wrecked race cars, 2 of which are never going to be run again.
Yeah.
But you look at Grosjean, you look at Kirkwood, you look at Herta, there was speed. And I just see this as green flags.
There's something
green
cooking.
flag.
They're cooking.
Despite
they're
the,
cooking,
the amount of red flags and yellow flags in this weekend.
Yeah,
Those were green flags.
Were there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
yay, Andretti.
Yay, Andretti, you did it! Yay! You didn't get a lot of yays last season, so that makes us happy. And then I just want to run something by you guys. I think there's something that we need to start, an award we need to give out every week.
Okay.
And the driver I think should get this award
Driver of the day.
is Kyle Kirkwood. The award in question, I think we need to start giving out the "He's Got That Dog in Him" award. And
Okay.
Kyle Kirkwood had that dog in him this weekend. The entire weekend. He went flying through the air and still finished the race. What did he finish? 15th?
Well, if we're going to
15.
talk about a driver
15.
that had that dog in him, I would nominate Stingray Robb because this guy drove a torn up race car and was 1 lap down the entire race, got his lap back, and was running on the lead lap with 3 laps to go. So I would nominate Stingray Robb.
I agree he's in the contention. But Kyle Kirkwood was, I think, 3 or 4 laps down and finished higher than Stingray Robb.
You never know.
It's just my proposition.
He said, I'm just saying, you know.
I'm just saying.
We love our boy Stingray. We do.
Who's the driver? Well, driver of the day for F1 was Fernando Alonso. Who's the driver of the day for IndyCar?
Driver of the day for IndyCar. See, I'm looking. Well, so IndyCar started giving out the the person who improved the most spots. I think they call it like the highest mover award. I feel like Callum Ilott.
I would give it to Callum.
I would get a lot, yeah.
I would have given it to Ilott.
I believe
His
he
first
went.
top 5.
I think he went up 18 spots.
My He's Got That Dog in Him award would have to go to Ilott. I'm not gonna lie to you.
But Ilott kept it clean, which is why I don't know. I feel like the Got That Dog in Him award we should keep it different than just a highest mover thing.
Okay.
Because we got to take into account circumstance of what happens and how they can thrive under chaos. And I think Kyle Kirkwood did a great job at thriving in the chaos that happened to him this weekend.
Even Joe Donahue agrees that I'm based with my opinion on Callum Ilott and the dog.
I think it's a good idea.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
I think he was definitely the driver of the week, like driver of the race, driver of the day. But I think if we're gonna have an inaugural, he's got that dog in him award, my nominee would be Kyle Kirkwood.
Okay. I mean, I can agree with you on that too, though. So, like,
we'll have personal dogs.
Okay.
Our personal dogs. I'll go Sting, Stingray. Jay will go Callum. Daniel goes Kyle Kirkwood.
Next
Maybe
week,
this could be something we put on like as a Twitter poll.
That too.
Who's got that dog in
Yeah,
him?
that too. And
Who
and
had
like,
that dog in him?
And like next week on the show, I can like have that like come up as like a little thing. I'm gonna make it like a dog and put their face over it, and then you guys tell me who you think it is before. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do that.
We can give out golden dog collars to the races we go to.
Yeah, that'd be kind of cool. That'd be kind of cool. Yeah, that'd be pretty funny.
But let's get down into breaking down this race. Lap 1. What the heck? What the heck?
Yeah.
I mean, so
Ben Peterson, what were you cooking?
yeah. So Rosenquist had some contact with Dixon, then got thrown into the wall. He bounced off the wall. Everybody kind of reacted to that. Because of that, Elio Castroneves, Simon Pagino, Stingray Robb, Felix, obviously, and then Santino Ferrucci were all involved in a wreck. 2 names that I didn't include in this. Devlin DiFrancesco was involved with this wreck. Should have been over there. Here comes Ben Peterson! And there goes Devlin DiFrancesco up into the air above everybody. How Connor Daly avoided that wreck, I don't know. But
Did you see how
that's
many
a way to start a
videos
race.
Did you see how many views that he got from his angle? Like it went like 2 million, 3 million views of just his angle.
It's insane. He missed it by inches. Literal inches. Like,
listen, I feel like he had a little bit more room. That's a very average sized amount of room that Connor Daly had to get there.
I'm sure his room had great personality, if you would get to know it.
I'm sure his room had great personality. I'm crying.
So that caused a red flag, and it caused several people to be out of the race and several people to have things to overcome later in the race. Obviously, Stingray Robb was still able to compete, but he was a lap down pretty much the entire day. After that, David Malukas got a drive-through penalty for having contact with Armstrong. You could argue it was either their fault. I don't really think it's necessarily anything that we have to like debate because it didn't end up causing a big thing.
It didn't cause anything terrible. Yeah. I mean, just Armstrong had a flat tire, but ended up recovering to 12th. Malukas had a drive-through, ended up recovering for a top 10. I mean,
yeah,
like.
And then let's see, lap 36, Roman Grosjean, who was leading the entire race at this point. He's got slowed down due to contact with McLaughlin. That's a little preview to what comes next. He had some contact with Scott McLaughlin, which allowed Pato O'Ward to catch up, and I believe Pato then took the lead, or McLaughlin took the lead from there. But it didn't matter, because in lap 37, there was a caution for Connor Daly being spun out by Kyle Kirkwood. Then, speaking of Kyle Kirkwood, lap 42, a caution for Renus VK, who ran it into the tires. Kyle Kirkwood then ran over Jack Harvey and flew over him. So we had 2 cars go airborne this weekend, both of them being Andretti cars. Michael Andretti was having a bad day. And that day did not get any better, because in lap 50, Colton Herta wrecked. There was a caution, and he had some contact with Will Power going into one of the turns. You could argue it was Will Power's fault.
It was Power. It was Power.
It was a racing incident, but I'm gonna let bias be. I'm not gonna.
As much
focus
as Hinchcliffe
on my bias,
was really pushing, he's like, "That's a racing incident." Like, and like, he kept seeing replays. It's like, I can't say that's not on Power.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then Michael Andretti's day didn't get any better, because lap 72, while fighting for the lead, McLaughlin's coming from the pits trying to catch up. Roman Grosjean and McLaughlin wreck each other into, I believe, turn 3?
4.
They wreck each other going for the lead. Oh, was it turn 4?
Yeah.
Okay. It was early on in that lap. They wrecked each other going for the lead, which meant Pato O'Ward get the cycle to the lead. And we'll go along with that, because when Pato O'Ward gets a lead, you know who's gunning for him.
Here comes Ericsson!
If I had a nickel for every time Marcus Ericsson took over and won a race coming from behind Pato Award, I'd have 2 nickels, which isn't a lot, but it's weird that it's happened more than once.
Yeah, that's true.
Lap 94, Joseph Newgarden's car just caught fire randomly.
Yeah, what was that? Because
I don't know.
did he keep racing after that? I can't remember.
Let's see, where did he finish in this stand? I believe that caused him to retire from the race.
Okay,
Because Stingray Rob finished right above him.
got it.
And then in lap 97, Pato Award going around the last turn to the start-finish line. He appeared to have an issue. I believe they said what it was. It was something with
So
the
it was
engine.
like I don't know.
They said it was either
term.
I heard oil line. That's what I heard.
So they said that it was an oil line, but it was something in the oil line, like a combustion.
Yeah, there's a specific
explosion.
term they used.
Yeah, they I can't remember that exact term they used, but like
Yeah.
it was the combustion in the oil line, and something didn't fire right, and the engine shut off for like a few seconds, and then came back on. Or at least
I believe it's the
that's what
same
I
thing that
heard.
happened to him at Mid-Ohio last year.
Probably, yeah. And
Which,
but-
again, if I had a nickel for every time...
we saw that one. My favorite thing was that radio. Because remember, Daniel, because I was listening to Pato's radio.
Yeah, he was like, hey, something's wrong.
I have no power. I have no power. I have no power.
Yeah, so I wasn't listening to his radio this time, but I'm sure he had some interesting things to say. But then
You know
because
whose radio
of
I
this,
was listening to, and I heard every moment of Grosjean. Because, man, that was funny.
I think my favorite meme from this weekend was it was 2 pictures of Roman Grosjean right after that wreck. Said like me having so much fun with my life, and it's him smacking the tire. It's like then me when everyone asks if I'm okay, it's just him giving me a thumbs up because it happened like right after.
But Jeff Cheney does make a good point in the chat. He thinks the Scotty Matt Grosjean incident is gonna have a lot of like a big retribution moment in a future race at some point. And I
See,
think
I don't agree.
They
I
made
don't
up.
agree.
They hugged. They hugged.
hugged.
It's all good.
I don't agree. I think they'll say that this was a racing incident.
Well, Grosjean was really ticked off about it. He was very, very ticked off in his interview. But Grosjean has now learned from pretty much imploding Andretti that he has to watch what he says. So they were like, whose fault do you think it is? He goes, well, they said, like, what do you think he was thinking? And he was like, well, he probably thinks it was racing. But that's not what I think. But you can figure that out. And I was like, good on Grosjean. He's kind of learned his lesson. But McLaughlin did apologize, and McLaughlin initiated kind of the hug that happened after the race. So hopefully
Aw,
that doesn't have a
boys
lot
stop-
of
the boys stop fighting.
context in the future. But because Pato Award had his issue, Marcus Ericsson was right behind him in second place. Marcus Ericsson then led the last 2 or 3 laps and won this race. Marcus Ericsson is your first IndyCar winner of the 2023 season. And what a race it was. Do you guys have any hot takes after one race into the season? What are your hot takes going?
9.5 out of 10. I would have liked to see less cars wrecked. I would have liked to see some of those Meyer Shank cars, see what they could have done, because we didn't get to see them at all.
Yeah.
Surprising weekend from Ray Hall, Letterman, Lanigan. After they had such a terrible practice and qualifying sessions, it's good to see Ray Hall get a top 10, Lundgaard get a top 10. Good to see. Dale Coyne Racing looked fast, so that's always good. And Penske is going to continue to dominate, along with Chip Ganassi Racing. So,
I think
good job, Sneaky Swede.
yeah.
I agree.
The
Jay,
sneaky sweet.
what are your hot takes coming after this weekend?
I don't know if I got like hot takes, but I think that from what I've seen from Kirkwood in my preseason prediction about Kirkwood, I think unless this bad luck strain continues and he keeps getting crashed or something.
It's Andretti, so...
I mean, yeah. But I think I'm going to be wrong about my preseason prediction with him. I think I'm going to be wrong. That's kind of like, I guess, my hot take about myself.
I tried to warn you guys.
I think I'm going to be right about Lundgaard getting top 10 in points, though. I think I'm going to be right about that.
Yeah,
Where did
I
he
think he
finish?
looked very
finish?
good.
He finished ninth.
Ninth? Okay. I didn't really
He
keep up
finished
with
ninth,
Lundgaard.
yes.
I didn't keep up with
And he
Lundgaard
qualified
right
in the
away.
top 12.
Yeah. Interesting. That's
I think I'm going to be right about Lundgaard finishing top 10 in points.
Yeah.
So
I don't know.
Listen, I just want to say that in our preseason predictions, even though I put him in 7th, I said part of me wanted to say Kyle Kirkwood would finish top 3.
do you know a driver who I think I'm going to be wrong about is Alexander Rossi, because that man had a great race, finishing 4th, and I have him, I think, 12th in points. So good on you, Rossi boy.
He said Rossi.
Who do I think I'm going to be wrong about? I think I put Ilott too low.
Yeah.
I think I put Ilott too low too.
Juncos looked really good for being pretty much the smallest team in all of IndyCar. Do I think they'll get top 5s every week? No, absolutely not. But they kept their noses clean. They stayed out of trouble.
And the rebrand looks sexy.
It
my
looks
God,
good
I
on track.
love it so
I
much.
didn't necessarily love it when they announced it. It looks good on track.
Like,
I'm just gonna say I put Ilott the highest out of all of us. I'm just saying.
you did.
I put him.
You also
14th.
put Canapino the highest out of all of us, though.
Yeah.
I think so.
And I had Canapino finishing above Ilott.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of regretting that a little bit. But then again, we're one race in. Anything can happen.
We can't really talk about championships until 3 races in, as like what we talked
With
about
the IndyCar,
NASCAR.
you can't talk about the championship till the last race.
Yeah, for real. But yeah, guys, that's pretty much what we got for the IndyCar racing series. We're gonna take a couple weeks off from IndyCar until Texas, so hopefully we'll get some 500 news in the next couple of weeks. That's the one thing I don't like about IndyCar. I wish that we had more races.
Yeah.
And I wish that
I wish they were spaced
more
properly.
evenly. Yeah, and I
I'm
wish
fine
we
with
didn't have
17. If you had them
I'm
be like
cool with
every 2 weeks.
I just wish we didn't have a cluster, which is like July, if you know what I
Yeah.
mean. So it's cool. All right, let's go ahead. Formulas.
Formula.
Formula.
As I mentioned, Gabriel Bortoletto brought home the feature win in his debut weekend in the F3 Championship. Theo Pucher, he claimed his first feature win during the... Man, I am so tired. I'm sorry. I messed that up so much. Theo Pucher claimed his first feature win of the season during the F2 race at Bahrain. But let's get into the F1 race. Let's talk about the F1 race here. So, there's a couple of things that happened during the race. Aston Martin's real, guys. I was waiting to see it in the race, and I believe it now. I'm a believer. I wasn't a believer before, but
here's the thing. I was also not a believer. I got trashed on Twitter. I got bamboozled, man. I had people come back to my tweet after the race and be like, "You'll see this, you stupid American." Like, it was like,
Molly, what's good?
No, I got every type of like Fernando Alonso like thing. Like, I'm like, and then like I tweeted, I was like, my favorite Fernando Alonso moment. Like, cause like there was this one guy, he's like, this guy doesn't know about Fernando Alonso. It's like, my favorite Fernando Alonso moment is when he didn't qualify for the 2019 Indy 500. And then I got a death threat. So like, it's cool. But I mean, hey, congratulations, Aston Martin.
So we also saw Max pretty much dominate the race.
I saw a thing where it was like the Bahrain Grand Prix in 6 seconds. And lights out, and away we go. And Max Verstappen wins the Bahrain Grand Prix.
Yeah, I see that. But yeah, Max pretty much dominated the race. Closer to the end of the race, Charles Leclerc lost his engine. So we are still seeing the same Ferrari, everyone. And that means
but you know what? They had a strategy at least.
That's true.
They did have a strategy.
It was working. They weren't going to win, but it was working.
It was going to get them a
It's more of
podium.
a strategy than they had last season.
But no,
me and my girlfriend are currently watching Drive to Survive. And she, like, it was like after Ferrari messed up, it was the 3rd episode when Ferrari kept messing up their pit road stuff. And like, remember how last season we were like, are you going to keep doing this? And she leaned over to me. She was like, so does he get fired? I was like, oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and it was sweet too. But Nah, so I got a few questions for you guys about the race. Like, everybody's watched the race. I'm not going to go through the race. And, I mean, the midfield battle was honestly pretty good.
Yeah, I thought it was good.
The strategies and jumping each other with the overcuts and such, it was pretty good. But do you guys think Aston can keep this pace, or do you think they will fall off eventually? Because Fernando Alonso did finish third, and Lance Stroll did finish sixth. And I think if we had a healthy Lance Stroll, we could have seen him finish higher. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm just saying. But
I agree.
do you guys think that Aston can keep this pace, or do you think that maybe they'll fall off?
I'd like to see them. I'd like to see them keep the pace.
Yeah.
I'd like to see it. That doesn't mean I think that's going to happen, but I'd like to see it. I'm cautiously optimistic for Aston Martin.
As Daniel would term it, cautiously optimistic. Yeah.
Yes. My favorite term. My favorite term. I think they can keep up the pace. I think they should be able to keep up the pace, but that doesn't mean that I don't think other teams are not going to be able to like catch up to them.
Right.
Just because they keep the pace doesn't mean other teams won't improve. And I think teams like Mercedes, that last season they started off kind of rough, but then they caught up towards the end. I think we could see that happen again. I know there are reports are saying Mercedes is more focused on 2024 than they are 2023, which I think is a mistake. Why would you not focus on both if possible? But I think Aston Martin, they looked good. I think they can keep it up. I want to see them keep it up, but it's hard to count out other teams figuring it out as well.
Yeah, true. I agree. Yeah, I really do hope they keep it up. I want to see Fernando have a really good season. And I want to see Lance Stroll possibly be able to show out and showcase why maybe he's not.
I'd like to see Lance Stroll on podium.
Yeah.
I'd like to see Lance Stroll get a win.
Showcase why he's not just a daddy's money driver. You know what I'm saying? So,
I mean, he's still winless throughout his career. He does have that pole. He does have that one podium. I'd like to see it. I think, like Daniel, I think Lance Stroll needs to get a win this season if he's going to continue.
He needs to assert himself. He needs to assert himself as not a pay driver.
So, yeah, you guys are bringing up a point about winning races right now. So this is my next question. A lot of teams, drivers, team principals are mentioning no one is as good as Red Bull, and believe that Red Bull will win every race this season, whether it's either Max or Sergio Perez. Do y'all think that Red Bull can pull this feat off, or do you think anybody at any point in time could stand a chance to?
Ferrari's going to win a race. Mercedes is going to win a race. Aston Martin could win a race.
I don't know. I mean, the only way they're going to win is if I think Red Bull just has a big,
listen,
doo-doo
Monza
weekend.
exists.
But I mean, didn't a Red Bull win there last year anyway?
I think so, yeah.
So
we were all predicting this crazy Monza race, and then it was just
And then it kind of
1-2 Red Bull. Yeah.
So, but yeah,
I could see Red Bull winning every race, but I don't know if they will.
yeah. Daniel.
Could I see them winning every race? Yes. But other factors exist. Engines malfunction randomly.
That's why I said Daniel.
Tires, you can not have
Tires,
tire strategy.
puncture.
Yeah, there's so many factors that you just can't calculate every week that surely things are gonna go wrong.
Yeah.
There's gonna be safety cars. I know F1, it's not the same as Indy car where the whole field gets bunched up and anybody can take the lead from there, but there are just gonna be things
Unless it's a full
that are just
safety
out.
car.
Yeah, but they're not as common. I think that it's just hard to predict that everything is going to go 100% perfectly fine. You can't count on that. You can't.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what the series is, doesn't matter what car you have, doesn't matter what team you are. Things are going to go wrong at least once. At least once.
However,
And-
I thought it was crazy that Max had a 4-second lead after the first lap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like,
it's
how
over.
good is this man's car? Like,
I was like,
oh
it's
my
over.
god. Like he didn't even have to do it. He just had to hit his marks for an hour and a half.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Like I saw the video.
And it wasn't like he was even really hitting his marks. He was just driving. He
Yeah.
was just having a good time.
I saw the video of him pulling onto like the little victory podium thing after the race, and this person made a point because like his tires didn't have that much graining, so he was really not even pushing at the end of the race. I mean, he had like a 30-second lead over second place anyway, so like I don't think he really needed to push.
He was 30 seconds behind in front of Checo.
Yeah, so but yeah, I don't know. It's crazy. Like Red Bull, I think Red Bull's gonna win every race this season. I don't care. Like I know, like yes,
but will he predict it that way?
I do predict it that way. Yes. But yeah. So now my next question. What team looks most concerning to you guys after
McLaren?
McLaren.
I knew you guys were gonna say McLaren.
Oh my god! What? Like Piastri got the blue screen of death on his dash.
Yeah.
Poor guy.
Yeah. He had a Windows update mid race.
Very concerned.
Yeah,
I am very concerned about McLaren because, geez, they looked like freaking Williams, and Williams looked like freaking Aston Martin last season. Like they looked pretty solid. Like points for Albon, Sargent, highest placing rookie. Rah! Like you know what I mean? Like McLaren looked bad, man. Like Jay, you were right. You were right. Like
just saying. But yeah, Daniel.
Yeah, I was gonna say McLaren. They worried me, but I'll also throw out Alpine. More specifically,
I'm not worried about
Esteban
Alpine.
Ocon.
I'm not worried about Alpine just because Esteban had a bad race. I'm not really worried about
that race for Ocon was just kind of doomed from the start because he had that starting infringement with not parking in the box correctly.
He said another one. Another one.
He was just too far forward in the box, and he got a 5-second or whatever for that.
I got a 5-second penalty.
Yeah.
Want to see me do it again?
I got another one. You want to see me double it?
Double it, give it to the next person.
Yeah, FIA really said, do you want a 5-second penalty or double it and give it for the next time?
Yeah, it's crazy. But
they really sold Hulkenberg that. That's hilarious.
Yeah. But Daniel, you can continue if you need or if you're done.
I was really just gonna say Alpine. They worry me, not in a way that I think they're gonna get last every race, but they worry me in the fact that I thought they were gonna be the third or fourth best team, and I just don't think that's gonna be the case.
Yeah. See,
Gasly looked good though.
That's what I thought. I thought they were gonna be like third or fourth, but
yeah.
No.
Gasly, I feel like
Gasly looked good in the race. The rest of the weekend, he didn't look great.
Gasly looked like the best of the midfield, which was cool.
Yeah.
So I would say Gasly is definitely going to get some top fives this season. So, good for Pierre.
Then so now we got your opinions on that. The flip side of this, other than Red Bull, who looks the best? When we already kind of talked about this, so I mean, if it's the same that you guys
Well, I think Williams looks really good. Okay. But like that's just an improvement. Like they don't look the best. Yeah. They look the best of what they did. A 10th and a 12th place is solid. Do I think Williams will keep up this consistency? Probably not, but I'd love to see it. I would love to see Logan Sargent get points because when Logan Sargent gets points, USA TikTok is gonna go crazy because that's my favorite.
What the frick is a kilometer?
What the heck is a kilometer? like those are my favorite. Did you see I only got 3 things to say? And it was the Logan Sargent, lining up to the grid. Those are my favorite. But I think Williams looked good. That's just me.
I can agree with that for sure.
Or Williams. Like saying Williams looked good is a statement. You have to say Williams looked good for a Williams.
That's like last season. I could say Haas looked good for Haas. Like,
that's true. But Daniel, who's your?
Look, Aston Martin.
Aston Martin. Yeah.
It's hard to not say them right now. But again, we're one race in. Nothing set in stone. We don't even know if this will keep going on past this race. Really.
Yeah.
It could be a 3-race thing, a 5-race thing. It could be a whole season thing. I'd love to see it be a whole season.
It could be a Ferrari at the beginning of the season last year.
Yeah.
Not doing anything else after Silverstone.
But I don't know. We'll have to see if they're genuine contenders for kind of like that top of everybody else because nobody's getting close to Red Bull.
Yeah. I completely agree with you 100%. And since we're still on the topic of Aston Martin, this is my final question, and I'm going to read off the championship standings and the podium from this past weekend. How many, if Aston Martin keeps his pace, how many podiums does Alonso get?
5.
5? Okay.
5 or 6.
5 or 6.
And
How
one
many
of
races
those,
are there?
23.
5 or 6, and one of those is a win.
Ooh.
I'll say
A win. Okay.
I'll say 7.
7. Okay. 7.
7 or 8.
I'm gonna go 4 or 5. That's where I'm going.
Or is it just podiums, or is it second place?
No, just podiums in general. Like,
Okay, I've got it.
yeah. So second or third. Like,
Okay.
Yeah.
yeah. But
Because normally, like, when I think podium, I think third place. Because it's like you were runner up if you got second. If you
Yeah.
you on the podium if you get third.
mhm,
You know what I mean?
yeah. No, I know what you mean. It's a little different.
I just think Alonso can pretty much, at this stage in his career, he can outdrive any car he's in. The fact that he's in a car that actually looks good,
Solid, yeah.
it's scary for everybody that's not named Red Bull Racing.
Pretty much. Pretty much. But yeah, to get into the point standings, I mean, it's pretty much how the race finished anyway. Max Verstappen first, Sergio Perez second, Fernando Alonso third, Carlos Sainz, Lewis Hamilton, Lance Stroll, George Russell, Valtteri Bottas, Pierre Gasly, Alexander Albon right at the top 10. To go out and point out a few notable people that I kind of took note of. AlphaTauri, both of them, really impressed. Tsunoda finished 11th. De Vries finished higher than what I thought he would in his first race. He finished 14th. Logan Sargent definitely impressed me this weekend. Yeah, he definitely impressed me this weekend. He finished 12th, and I thought he was going to finish in points at one point.
I thought he was getting points.
Yeah.
After he had a bad stop, but I thought Sargent was getting points this week.
But, I mean, still, 12th in his first race out, he's giving me Zhou Guan Yu vibes. I'm just saying. And then a few people that kind of didn't impress me that much. I mean, really, like the rest of these are kind of all just like non-completing drivers or whatever. So, yeah, like I guess everybody kind of is where they're supposed to be for the most part.
Except for Lando.
yeah.
I don't think Lando's where he's needed to be.
Yeah. Well, Lando, yeah, that's just McLaren. McLaren, and yeah, I don't know. It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? So, but
Poor
that's
Lando.
all. That's all I have for the Formula 1, Formula 2, Formula 3, Formula E. What do you say we get into some predictions?
We got some NASCAR races to predict, but first we got to talk about how we all did last week and talk about how Tristan's still in the lead.
Still in the lead. He's a raw. But yeah, so last week, Daniel and Tristan both got their pick right with Kyle Busch in the Truck Series. I should have went with them. I was going to, but it is what it is. Me and Tristan both got a pick right for picking Max on our podium as the winner. We didn't get the other two right, but it still counts as a point for getting one of the positions right on the podium. The rest of it, we did not get right. The rest of our picks we did not get right. Whether like
so even though
IndyCar,
yeah, so even though Jay had Checo on his podium, he doesn't get a point because Checo didn't finish second, or Checo finished second and Jay had him as third or something like that.
Yeah, so it has
how
to
that
be
works.
the exact position, but you still get a point if you get them in that right position. So if Max and Perez were to finish first and third, I would have got 2 points, but they didn't. So, but yeah, So
Go back to when Daniel picked Lewis Hamilton to win this race.
yeah, he said Lewis
Listen.
Hamilton. That's so crazy. Like I was like, Daniel, what are you doing, my boy?
Every time I feel like at the beginning, that's when you have to throw the weird things out, just in case.
I mean, I get it.
I figured I was going to be wrong, but I might as well try.
I get it. But yeah, that's our predictions from last week. Let's go ahead. Let's start predicting this week. Tristan, it's NASCAR, so walk us through it.
So we only got 2 races this week, guys. NASCAR Cup Series and the NASCAR Xfinity Series at Phoenix. Let's start with the Xfinity Series. Boys were at Phoenix Raceway. Short track 200-mile race for the United Rentals 200. For this one, You know what? I'm gonna throw it out there. My pick this week, I'm gonna go with Chandler Smith. That's my pick. Number 16 for college racing. I'm gonna go Chandler Smith. I haven't picked him yet this season, so I'm gonna go Chandler.
Okay, I can see it. Daniel.
I am gonna throw out.
I am going to throw him away.
John Hunter Nemechek.
Okay, John Hunter Nemechek. All right.
But guys, more importantly, it's
The be
time to
real.
be real.
It's the be real.
It's time to be real.
Boom.
Sorry, we had to do the be real quick, guys. Sorry about
We had
that.
to do
Got to
the
do it
real.
for the culture.
I guess for Xfinity, looking at the entry list, I'm gonna go with
KFB.
Is Kyle Busch racing this week?
Yeah, he's in this
Yeah.
one.
Oh, he's in the 10. That's right. Yeah. Wow, I forgot. No, I'm not going with Kyle Busch though. I'm going to go with. I picked him once this season. He almost did it for me. I'm going with it again. Guess who it is?
Sammy Smith.
Yes, Sammy Smith.
Shami. Oh, Ryan Truex is racing this week.
Yeah.
Yay, Ryan.
So Sammy Smith
Don't
is my
matter.
Xfinity pick. So Tristan, go ahead. Let's get in.
Oh, I
on
already
Cup
went.
shit.
For
Cup?
Daniel's got it. For Cup. Sorry, I thought Daniel hadn't went yet.
No.
Cup Series action, guys. Phoenix Raceway. My first pick is the future champion of the season, Alex Bowman. That's going to be my first pick. In his hometown race, I got to go him. My second pick is going to be Ross Chastain. So I'm pretty predictable this week. I just went 2 drivers that are really hot right now, and
Okay.
both of them are really hot.
Okay. I guess
So
Melon Man.
Daniel, what is up, my
First
guy?
pick, I'm going Melon Man. Ross Chastain.
yeah,
Understandable. I mean, he got what, second here? Or did he finish second or did he finish third but got
it was
second?
one or the other. I don't
Yeah.
remember.
Either way, he looked good here last time they raced here. I'm picking him as my first pick. Second pick, someone that arguably should have won here the last time they raced here. Had it not been for team orders because of a championship, I'm going Ryan Blaney as my wild card.
Ooh,
Wasted potential himself.
that's crazy.
Casey Kane Jr.
That's
Casey
crazy
King
'cause
Jr.
Ryan Blaney. was
Casey
gonna
Kane
be-
Dupe.
That's crazy because Ryan Blaney was gonna be my first pick this weekend. Then at my second pick, I'm gonna go with Christopher Bell.
Yummy. Good pick. That's a good pick.
I'd be happy with that.
Yeah. That's
All right. Group pick time, everybody. So we have some solid drivers. I think we got to go Cup Series for this one. We got some solid picks. Some guys that are pretty good at Phoenix all the way around. My nominee for this week
Mine's
is a
Kevin
guy
Harvick.
that... Sure. We'll go. I was going to throw out Kevin Harvick, so go
That
ahead.
works for
Okay.
me.
I was going to go
Alright,
Kevin
Kevin
Harvick. Cool. Yeah.
All right, Kevin Harvick.
There you go.
Wait,
I
how
need to
many
push
has-
like the easy button.
Push.
That was easy.
That was
Has Trevor Bayne participated in a race yet this season?
Not yet.
Is he racing at all this season?
I don't think so.
We need our group pick legend. I'm just saying.
We need it. I think we should
upsetting.
call the group pick the Trevor Bayne group pick. I think that's what we
Yeah.
should call it.
Nominate it in his.
Brought
in
to
his
you by
favor.
Trevor
Brought to you
Bayne.
by Trevor Bayne's coffee shop that he has in Nashville.
Yeah.
That's what we should call it.
All right. Well,
Not sponsored, but sponsored. All right, let's go ahead and go back to the main screen. Thanks for joining us, guys, on episode 6 of Indy Boys, live on YouTube, or listening on the Marion Siren, or listening on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, however you listen to us. We couldn't be more happy that you're listening to us three, our beautiful voices. Go watch Phoenix this weekend. Gonna be on Fox. Listen to Clint Boyer. Have fun. It's gonna be fun.
Is that possible? Have fun, having fun while listening to Clint Boyer.
It can when he's upside down and on fire.
True.
Mhm. Signing off for Daniel Chaney and Justin Cox. My name is Tristan Greider. Have a good one, guys. See ya. Peace.